In this video, we focus on the linguistic characteristics of the local dialects of New England, specifically the Boston dialect. We review a media clip from the Late Night with Seth Meyers talk show entitled Boston Accent Trailer, wherein the host, Seth Meyers, portrays numerous characters demonstrating speech and vernacular that are distinct to individuals with a Boston dialect. In the article, Bostonians Are Speaking, a quantitative look at R in Boston, the authors remark that word choice, pronunciation, and frequency are elements that describe a regional dialect. The video clip applies the differences in word frequency when referring to the townies of Boston or lifelong resident. The title itself is particular to the region, while saying bro in every sentence captures the frequency in which certain words are embedded within speech.
Don't tell me to chill out, because I'm cranked up, bro. And I know where you live, bro. And bro, I know where you work, bro.
As Meyers portrayed from politicians to townies the versatility of the Boston accent, the following sources continue to elaborate on speech differences in the users of the dialect.
According to a study done by Oren and Nagy in 2007, educational and socioeconomic backgrounds play a relevant role in local dialects. While the stereotypical Boston accent tends to drop the R sound in most words, it has been found that not all people from this area practice this in their speech. The study shows that individuals with postgraduate education are more likely to pronounce their R's in their speech in comparison to individuals with less education. This is most likely due to the fact that those with postgraduate education have more contact with other dialect speakers, as well as having more instances where they need to speak in a formal setting. This is not only comments on how educational background plays a role in dialect, but also socioeconomic status, as someone with a lower socioeconomic status most likely has a lower educational status as well. We conclude that nuances within a shared dialect are contributed by factors such as educational background and socioeconomic differences.
Boston University released an article in 1997 that outlines the plethora of Bostonian slang used in New England English. Abbreviations and terms, such as the Bees and the Cape, which are used to refer to the Boston Bruins and Cape Cod respectively, mean something specific to the New England area, but can carry a different meaning elsewhere in the world. When referring to certain landmarks such as public gardens and Boston Commons, the locals pronounce them in a singular tense, for example, Public Garden and Boston Common. While such slang is generally understood throughout Boston, there are certain geographic areas that use slang specific to their region. Some regions refer to water fountains as bubblers, and others also say hootsie to refer to a local ice cream dish. The article also explains that low-income neighborhoods replace R's and V's for certain words, for example, brains versus veins. This means that even though two individuals might be from Boston, there could still be a discrepancy between their dialects because of the many factors that influence one's dialect.
The Chronicle of Higher Education came out with an article describing the spoken English in New England. They explained that in eastern New England, it's more common to have that Boston accent and more of a tendency to drop the R after pronouncing vowels. Furthermore, they said that in western New England, people usually do not have such a distinct accent. To summarize, they are explaining that accent comes from a geographic standpoint. The border of western and eastern New England used to be at the Green Mountains in Vermont, but as more people have adopted this type of speech, the border has moved to the Vermont-New Hampshire border. Baugh writes that linguistic profiling does not just come from race, but can come from speech alone. This explains that discrimination can come from the way one speaks or acts, rather than politics, race, economics, or education.
Each of these sources exemplify the impact that the subdemographics have on the versatility of the New England dialect. Within Boston, there are many factors such as geographical, educational, and generational differences that are contributing to the evolution of their vernacular. Over the past few years, the diversity of New England's population has had a huge impact on the receding of some of the most previously distinctive dialect markers. There are many geographical landmarks in New England that have had a strong influence on their popular slang terms, which remain unchanged by the generational, educational, and economical variances. It's these slang terms in New England that have carried over to the pronunciation of other words that allow their vernacular to be profiled so distinctively, ultimately setting them apart from other dialects in the English language.